This is Equity One, Broadway's happy hour.
Pour yourself a drink and join us as we chat about life, theater, and everything in between.
I'm Elliot Maddox.
And I'm Caleb Dickey. Join us for your Equity One.
Hi, Caleb.
Hi, Elliot. It's great to see you. Cheers.
Clink. I'm clinking ice, which will make sense soon. Oh my God. Caleb, how are you?
I am great. I am using my space. You know, like when you're on the stage, you're supposed to use it. So I'm using this lovely hammock in the backyard.
Ugh, gorge. I have hammock envy. Oh my God.
I know there was a little rocking on the socket. We're good.
Oh my God. And, well, that's the wild. That's the great outdoors.
Exactly.
Yeah. Welcome to Happy Hour. We are Elliot and Caleb, the hosts of Equity One, Broadway's Happy Hour. Here on Broadway Podcast Network Happy Hour, we sit down with some of your favorite podcast hosts for a little drink, chat, and fun. And we are very excited to be back after a long hiatus.
We take these often.
You know, well, and this one was our first to take because of social injustices. So
exactly,
strides are being made, and we're very excited to be back. I'm excited to see your face.
Yes.
I want to introduce our special guest this week, the host of the brand new podcast. Do you hear the people sing? The Theater Person's Guide to Saving Democracy. What a title! Our good friend Eric Ulloa is here.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Eric.
Hearing that title back, oh my God, that is quite a title.
Well, there's a colon in there. You know, it's very, very the Search for Elle Woods, Legally Blonde the musical. You know what I mean? It's very that. So
exactly. The Goat or Who is Sylvia? We're going for
all the greats have long titles here. Thanks for joining us. We're excited to talk the podcast later. But we're doing something really special this week for our first time ever. As you know, we like to drink here on Equity One, and we have a very exciting new partnership with our friends at Q Cocktails. And to learn more about that, we're going to bring in the founder, Hansel Tan.
Hi! Oh my God. Sorry, I was just getting a little sauce over here. Oh, take my hat off.
Oh my God, it's so sunny.
Love it.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here.
Of course, thank you for coming on. Now, why don't you tell our listeners what the hell Q Cox is?
Well, for those who don't know what Q Cock is, I mean, we've all known how hospitality and the performing in arts industry, it's always gone hand in hand. And when we were all furloughed or out of shows, I decided to bring a bunch of my buddies who are awesome bartenders and awesome mixologists and sort of like create stupid, ridiculous, incredibly delicious cocktails for all our friends to share. So it's kind of like a friends and family co-op. And what we do is that every week, we premiere a completely brand new cocktail that no one's ever seen and no one will ever see again. And we take orders, we buy the ingredients, we batch it up and create it, and then we send it out to everybody. You can get as little as one bottle, you can get like 10 bottles, it depends on how you want to go about it. And every week we create a completely brand new cocktail. And this is totally like for our friends and family. It's like a little cooperative with a little like network of our own. And I think we sent some of them your way this week, didn't we?
Oh my gosh.
It's right here. It's behind my hand.
Well, there's a reason Caleb doesn't have one, and you do have to be in New York. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
But we hope to get you some shortly. So this is one I'm really excited about. It's our twist on the hurricane from New Orleans. It's got hibiscus plantation star rum, Kraken spice rum, Aperol. I love Aperol.
Yeah.
Some lime juice, some grapefruit juice, and a little sprig of rosemary on the inside. And all you got to do, and it comes in these 16-ounce bottles, which is like 4 cocktails in there. It's a lot of cocktail.
Good night.
Oh my God.
One person, but some people.
One.
It's all up to you. You get to decide. Just pour it over ice and you're ready to go.
Oh my God. Okay. So we're going to shake this.
I'm ready.
And what I love about this is that is that, you know, we're in a time where we're all remote and separate. Like this, we're getting to enjoy the same experience together right here. So I'm pouring this drink. Look at that color.
Look at this. Oh, it smells really good.
I'm just gonna.
There's still so much more in this bottle, and I love you for that.
Oh my god! Look at this.
How much is left here?
That is a lot.
We're not playing around.
Look at this.
Here's the thing about there being no shows: the Equity One rule doesn't really apply now.
I know. Well, on Equity One, we always say that as long as your glass is never empty, it's still just one.
That is a rule to live by.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to fill your cup.
To get very fancy, I'm gonna take the rosemary sprig and just garnish my drink.
Oh,
Look the fuck at this. That is delicious. Okay, hold on.
I'm excited. Cheers.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Drink.
Really good.
Hurricane.
That is really, really
Like,
good.
really, really good.
You guys.
There's like a good like balance between like a little bitterness, a little sweetness. Oh my god, this is delicious.
A lot of fun stuff. And what we also do is that every other week we partner with fellow actor, mixologists, bartenders to create and present their special recipes for us. So I'm really, really excited this week. We are featuring Megan Marshall, who has been an ex-actress, who has been an ex-stunt woman, and now is an award-winning bartender mixologist, and she's coming up with incredible mezcal cocktails. So if you liked what you see, come on and check us out on our Instagram page. That's Q Cocktails on our Instagram. Or you can shoot us an email at thirsty@qcox.com if you want to learn a little bit more. Happy to tell you.
Can I also say that I loved that when this came, that like I had like a new email. It was like Q Cox is on its way, and like. Then I got a text, and then a second later, all of a sudden, my doorman called up and said, "You have a cocktail delivery? That is impressive."
Look, it's amazing. Look at Hansel's cute face, and imagine that showing up with a little cocktail.
But this much covered.
Well, we also we have a group of what we refer to lovingly as cock couriers, who are themselves. Actors and musicians and other artists who want to do this as a way of spreading fun and enjoyment throughout the city. So we welcome them, and we're happy that they get to spread their light and their energy in very, very different ways. It's cocktail theater.
We love it. And what is exciting about this to us is that for anyone who watches the show, listens to the show, you can check Q Cox every week, order the cocktail, and then you can drink it with us, just like you're having a happy hour right here with us. So we can all feel like we're having a communal experience. It's really, really exciting. And we cannot wait to drink these. Amazing. Thank you so much, Hansel, for coming on. And we will be hearing from you again soon. Cheers.
Cheers.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that amazing?
Try it. I really want one.
Halfway down. Oh.
And that's why you need a big glass.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. We have not done this, Eric. We've been on a bit of a hiatus here, as a lot of, people who make content kind of took a break to amplify other people's voices and, kind of refocus things a little bit on social media, etc. So we have not sat down and done this for well over a month. And one momentous thing happened in mine and Caleb's life. And I know that you recently also experienced that joy. And that is Chromatica. Lady Gaga 6, her new album.
Yes.
Came out right after we kind of took a pause, or right before, like it was right on it. So we never got to talk about it. And I've listened to it probably 3 million times since then. Now, Eric, you just heard it yesterday, right?
Yesterday and a little bit, and I finished it today. I had this is why I listened to it. I am notoriously behind in music. Notoriously. My heyday is 1999. So I saw all these people posting about Chromatica, and I thought it was like a new horror film or something, or a new movie. So I had to Google Chromatica, and then Lady Gaga came up, and I go, Oh, that's the name of her new album. That's what that damn Rain thing I hear everyone talking about is.
Yep.
But let me tell you, that is, as the kids call, a bop. This album is really, really strong. Like, there's not, you always have that one skip track. There is not a skip track in this album.
Not one skip track.
It is a whole experience.
And I can tell you that after listening to it so many times, I've never skipped any of the songs. Even the interludes are crucial, especially the interludes.
Yes. I think the interludes are the best part. She transitioned the whole album. My favorite is Chromatica 2 into 911. It's life-changing.
It's iconic.
My friend said Chromatica 2 into 911 is gay rights.
And as most things that are gay rights tend to do, they inspire all of the memes.
Yes.
I'm obsessed with them. It's like Caleb and I are sending them to each other all the time. My favorite is Lisa Rinna throwing down a wine glass at Kim Richards. So that's a Housewives crossover reference, but it's just that's why it stays like that when I love the internet. When I see a meme that I'm just like, oh, I love you fools.
So fast. The internet is so there are things that happen in the media. I go, is there somebody ready? They have all the ideas and they're just sitting there and they're like, give me a topic. Give me a topic. I'm ready.
They're just ready.
They're ready. They're just meme makers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the beginning of the pandemic, there wasn't any new social news. I mean, there was just the same thing. So people were running out of new memes. So all these old memes had come back into the cycle. Did you notice that?
Oh, you're right. Yes.
In the very beginning, it was hard to get nobody knew what to do. So they were bringing back old content. And
I love it. I love memes. But okay, what's your favorite song on Chromatica right now? Or Eric, first hot take.
Wait, I gotta look at it. I don't know the words yet. I mean, I don't know the titles yet. Wait, I'll tell you.
Sure.
Hopefully.
I'll say 911 is my top favorite. And if you ever played Sega, Street Fighter, I feel like I am the roller skating guy or the girl fighting on Street Fighter Sega when I listen to 911. It's my favorite.
I'm going to go with 911 too, actually. I'm going to go because truly that transition into 911 is oh my God. I hate that gyms are still closed right now because that transition, I'm like, I would kill it right now at that gym.
Uh-huh.
I'm not an outdoor runner. I need to learn to be. If not, I would take it to the streets. But man, that album is that transition. I'm like, I would tear into a treadmill on that transition.
It is so good. It's really hard to pick a favorite because I think my favorite is Fun Tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love how it's weirdly kind of ballady. It reminds me of Robin a little bit, where it's like an electric kind of ballad. It's so good. And I think that I also really love, I love the Sign from Above, the Elton John duet. That one's really, really good too. Eric, have you been watching TV? Are you a TV person?
I have been a little bit. I was more in the beginning. I'm in the middle of this on. So this is not a complaint. This is literally just the observation of life. Because my life is performing / writing, the good thing survival wise, and the reason why me and my dog can eat is because the writing side has continued. People still need projects and it's over. There are still projects on the horizon. There are still things that I'm commissioned to finish. And when I'm in deep writing mode, I'm in the middle of a film right now and the pilot of these two things I'm working on with different people. So my brain, I can't jump into a series very well. The last thing I saw was Dead to Me season 2, which stupidly, because I just don't know. I'm not good at self-control. I'm really not, as you're going to see with this cute cocktail. But I'm really not good at it. And so I will watch the entire thing in one sitting. I'll eat an entire thing of Oreos in one sitting. I don't. We live once. So I watched all of it in one sitting. And then I was like, well, that was 6 hours. Damn it. Now it's over.
It's over. And Dead to Me is they're so mean and they do it well, but it's the half-hour episodes combined with how well written it is. It's are you kidding me?
Those cliffhangers. What? I mean, literally some of the best cliffhangers ever in TV history where literally the end of it happens and you go, what? And I could be on my way to meet my mother or my family. I will cancel.
Yeah. Because I can't just watch one episode.
No.
Are you kidding me?
No.
That's when I wish that it was like real TV, that they were like, while I would hate that I had to wait a week, I would be like, oh, and then it would just
be back on Wednesday. Yeah.
Oh, I know. It does me so. I'm watching a lot of Bravo, because Housewives are back. So there was a hiatus for a couple weeks because we're seeing now, the new half of the season just started up, but they hadn't finished filming the show, so they're doing like their talking heads, like they are like this, like spliced in here and there.
Can I tell you that Elliot, you're gonna freak out at this? Are you a Housewives fan?
Yeah, and my boyfriend is like huge fan.
So the other days they were filming one of them like this, and I can't say who because I don't want to get in trouble, but a good friend of mine may or may not work the teleprompter for these. And so I walked into their home and he was doing the teleprompting for the series, and it's happening right there, and they're doing their different takes. And I just walked in and the door was closed, and of course, he was keeping the privacy of it all. But I was like, behind that door, there is 2 TV screens and a teleprompter, and he is feeding the cues to these women from his apartment. It was so crazy. And I was like, oh, and I'm not a Housewife follower as much, but anybody that followed that, I was like, oh, they would lose their mind right now to know that like the tea is happening in the room next door.
The drama brewing.
It is so good. Hey, Britt, do you want to pop in so we can kiki a little bit about Leah? Okay.
Stay out of it when the Housewives come up.
Leah is amazing.
You're unworthy.
So Leah is basically the new Bethany. I think she's being groomed to kind of be the new Bethany Frankel. She's like very dry, kind of crazy. She's great.
Mob queen, mob
the mafia, something
like
mafia. It's like a clothing brand. But she is just so good at the. She's
always
shitster.
Over now though, and Bravo. They love sobriety for those who choose that.
Bravo, not just sobriety. Bravo.
Yes. Yeah. However, she's so funny on the show. Like it. I mean, she drinks and she's instantly like destroying property.
Yeah, she's like screaming, like flipping over chair, like rolling on the ground. It's like
naked, throwing tiki torches into pools. Like, come on, that's excellent TV.
Guys, that's too much. Don't you have to realize that's too much?
No.
Yes. You can't feed her. She's a child, and you got to stop that. Stop feeding the child.
Because someone confronted her about it on the show, and she literally responded with, "What? I thought our thing was that we just like get shit faced and like be disruptive."
It's very
well, there you go. You know what? Then hey.
Okay, yeah.
I'm like, she's a self-aware. It's like.
These are also adults who have adults around them and make adult decisions. So when people later on say, "Oh, well, you're," I go, "No, they sign a contract. That paycheck clears every week, like ours. Well, no longer right now does, but ours did. Like ours did."
And she goes to she's been at every single protest I think she lives in the East Village, so she's always posting on Instagram that she's at the protests that we would be at and all these things. So I'm like, okay, it's nice, and especially in the Housewife franchise when we're not quite sure politically where they fall. It's nice when we know where they fall.
Yeah,
sure.
Ally.
Yeah, exactly. I love you even more.
Yeah, it's like we don't know where Ramona stands, but
we know.
Mama, the parties in the Hamptons as fundraisers tell us otherwise. Okay.
Years ago, true story. Years ago, when I used to cater and bartend, I worked polo up in Southampton, the polo matches, and there's these huge giant things, and a lot of people come out. And Ramona came to my bar to ask for a Chardonnay and made like the scene because the cameras were on, and so I was on the episode, but my face was blurred because they had the whole form, and I was like, I don't wanna.
That's even better though, that you know that you were there, but nobody else knows.
Nobody else knows. So if you're looking for that blurry face, season 3.
And we get to see our very own Ben Rimmelauer from Broken Record.
Right.
Isn't that so funny?
It's always so fun to see him. And he is not just like popping in, like he's sitting there. He has like scenes. He is a friend of the show. Like he is a character on the show. Great. Yeah. Yeah. Deep salute.
I'll get back to more important matters, but thank you for letting me kiki.
Of course.
Right.
We're always happy to have you in here. Kayla, what are you watching?
Well, we just finished The Politician, and we watched it we binged it in 2 days.
Season 2 or 1? 2. Is it good?
It's so good, and then they just kind of ruin it at the end. That's how I feel.
I haven't seen it either. I am a big Ben Platt fan, but I'm just not moved to watch that show.
No, the preview feels so campy.
Yes, it is.
The Ryan Murphy show.
Yeah.
Ryan Murphy, he always takes it to one side, polarized side.
Right, exactly. Right.
He is sometimes so good and profound and genius. #feud.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get
#Scream Queens.
Yes.
And sometimes you get the American Horror Stories that go on, and I go, oh, it's DDD. DDD, where he was like, and this one's in it, and Patti LuPone, and rainbows, and glitter, and a unicorn. And then you go, but there's no plot, and it goes on. And sometimes he's just so good. Sometimes, so I like when he has a real story a lot of times. That's why I think when he shines the best.
Yes, agree.
I mean, Caleb, is The Politician as campy as Scream Queens?
No, obviously not. It's in a more universe that we actually live in. It takes place in New York City, the second season.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, but it's also all these TV shows feel dated already. Do you guys get that feeling when you watch and you're like, wow, look at that crowded restaurant? That's never going to happen again.
I talk back to the screen. I now look at the screen and I go, is that fun? Is it fun being at a bar with your friends?
Yeah. Or you'll see someone in a restaurant cough, and it's like
you dodge from your couch.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God.
Or my couch.
And then I immediately go in my head to especially with these reality shows, I'm like, okay, this was filmed in November? They had it. I was like, I'm like, she has coronavirus.
She does.
I'm like, because that was February and she had it.
I need you to start one of those call out shame pages, those new Fire Island call out shame pages. We can get into that later, but you need to make one of those pages for just people on movies in November and December, and just be like, so she has it.
She has it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't tell me she doesn't have it.
She has it. Yeah.
Oh my God. Remember, you guys? God, hasn't quarantine been forever? Do you remember when Glenn Close did that monologue about New York on her Instagram? And now we're here. That had to have been 3 years ago that happened, but it was 2 months.
Actually, I had this thought. I was like, when did I because we're in Georgia right now, my boyfriend's, and I was like, when was the last time I was here? I was having memories of the first time I got here, thinking that it was longer ago, but it's just because there's no time frame. So I've been confusing all the memories.
Where in Georgia are you?
Rome, Georgia.
I know Rome, Georgia. Yeah.
You do?
I drove through it once.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty cool town.
It is.
Yeah.
It may have been the outskirts though, because there was other parts. And forgive me, I'm honestly just remembering a road trip from years ago. Are there parts of Rome that are bing, 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 like that? Okay, good. Okay, yes.
Yes.
I went through a part that years ago. This is pre-phone maps and everything. A man, I was lost trying to get to Atlanta, driving from Florida, and a man stopped, and I was coming through there, and a man drew me a map with a stick in a pile of mud to show me where to go, and I had to put the mud map in my head to get to Atlanta. And I will never forget the man walking into the guest room like, "Hi, I'm lost," and everyone just turns their head at me, and I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah,
you're like, hello. I am lost.
I am lost, and I'm also heterosexual.
I love the mud map. That's so great.
The mud map.
I feel like you could sell a mud map for a lot of money if it got hardened and it was a little palette, and you could pass it off as old history or something at an antique market or something.
Circa 2003, this mud map helped a young homosexual make it through red territory of Georgia.
Love it. Yes.
If you could draw someone a map from memory of any kind of place, like if someone asked you, like, and they needed a mud map, what place is in your brain like that where you could like draw a map in mud and make someone not get lost?
Aside from where I live?
Yeah.
Provincetown.
Oh, okay.
My heart. I know.
I was supposed to go in June.
I know. I'm gonna try to get out. I'm trying to be responsible, but I want to get out there in like late August and just, I don't know. I have a hard time with these, and I don't want to get into I mentioned the Fire Island thing, and now I'm heading to it.
Yeah,
but
let's do it. Let's go there.
Let's do it. Let's freaking do it.
Yeah.
I have a really hard time with like these places that I love so dearly, and seeing them during this time. Are you in New York, Elliot?
Yeah.
So have you been here since the beginning of all this nightmare?
I left for like 2 months and came back.
Totally. So you're here now, but like, so I have not, since it all started, I had this whole mentality of, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to be with my city. I'm going to, and I live like 2 blocks from like NYU here on in the 30s, on the east side. And so like, it was a lot, like hearing the city just dead quiet and just sirens only. And at night, like sleeping in my bed and you would just see the red flashing lights, like on the roof, on my ceiling, like just consistently. And just watching the city truly like go into a coma is what I call it, because the energy of it was just gone.
Yeah.
And so like places I love, like P-Town and the Pines and Cherry Grove and all that, I'm like a little, aside from the responsibility, I'm a little like scared to go out there and see them in a broken state. I want to like take off my shirt and go in the pavilion and like have a night and have fun with my friends. Like I don't want to have like a mask and like have the Pines pantry, throw my groceries outside the door, and
right.
It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's why I ended up canceling the vacation I had planned to Provincetown way before everything happened. I was just gonna go once Beetlejuice closed and like spend a week and live my life there. But I was like, I don't think it was at that point, it was like much safer. It was like early June. So we could have like eaten outside, probably worn masks. Places might have started opening up because Massachusetts has been a little faster.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, if I'm going to go to Provincetown, like I haven't been in years and I haven't really had like my kind of like week there. I'm like, I don't want it to be like half open and like, not like be able to be next to cute boys or anything. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's the thing is I didn't want it to be different. So it's a tricky thing.
It's and it's truly like when people ask me about Provincetown, especially like they go, what's your favorite place on earth? And it's really, it's always, the answer is easy, it's Provincetown. There's never, it's a utopian place. It is and until you go, in fact, my parents know this because they went once with me when I was up in Boston. They came out to Provincetown and they talk about it all the time. They're like, they were like families and drag queens and this. And I go, yes, it is utopia. It is utopia. And it's, I don't know, whenever I go there, I feel literally as I drive over the dunes, I feel the weight of the world go off my shoulders. I feel like I never turn on the news. So if something bad happens, I'm not going to know because I don't care when I'm there. I'm just in the happiest place possible. So it's, it's still TBD. But I'm worried about seeing my favorite place, with a bit of an injury.
Yeah, that's so tricky. But honestly, as someone that's been here the whole time, like I just think, and I understand when people want to get away and they want to go to Fire Island and they want to like a little escape. But what in the world were they thinking? Just don't post, wear a mask.
You know what it is, honestly? And I got into this, and now I've had almost 2 cocktails, so here we go.
Well, we're here to talk about, we're here to talk about speaking out.
Well, they had I think that there's someone recently reached out to me, a friend, and said to me, like, was upset with, I was posting quite a bit about what had happened on social media, because early on in April, May, and no one likes, and I told you so, but I told you so. I said, this is going to happen out there. I know it's going to happen out there because I know in any community, it's not just the gay community, it is all communities. We are locked away. It gets hot as hell in the city. And then people start posting the whole like Fire Island, having so much fun, on the beach. And that's the end of it. That's where it all starts right there. We get the FOMO. FOMO brings out the day trippers. Day trippers have a cocktail. COVID's too. We're there. Yeah. We're there.
It's that simple too.
It's that simple. And so we have and to me, you can go to Fire Island and have you both have been, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So and I'm sure you both seem very I know Ellie, I know you. Caleb, I'm just meeting you and I'm loving you already. But Ellie and I we have history.
We do.
But you seem like thoughtful people. When you walk onto that island, if you don't feel the gravity of the Pines when you walk onto it and the history that you are walking on, it's almost like you. I don't know. I don't want to insult anybody, but I don't know how you walk onto the Pines and not feel the history. This was the resting place of many people. This was the place where
this was salvation for people.
Yeah, salvation, terror in some ways. In the 50s, a resting place in the 80s, a place where loved ones came to grieve and say goodbye. Many people stared out at the same sunset that you're staring out at, and the next day left this earth.
Yeah.
And standing on the same sand you stand on. And so to me, it's hallowed ground. You can have your fun out there. You can have your fun out there. And God knows I have had my fun out there. My 20s there should be a plaque to my 20s. But I was not in a pandemic. I was not in a thing that could kill people by being irresponsible. So, there comes great privilege when you're on the Pines. Not just the fact that the Pines is extremely expensive to stay out there for a long time. It is a privilege to be there monetarily. It is a privilege to be there during a pandemic and all these things, to be able to go out there and have a good time and enjoy yourself. But with that comes responsibility. And if you go out there and you act like an asshole, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to call you out. And same thing, if I see you in a photo, I'm going to tag you. I'm going to tag you. If you're in a photo of a group on a beach partying, I'm going to tag you.
Yeah. I think there's a difference between leaving the city and going, staying somewhere else for a long time. I'm not going out and vacationing and meeting a whole bunch of people. Fire Island, if you live there, that's your home. But you're not going there for your home. You're going there to have a good time and
then that's another point too, is that there are people that actually live there.
Yes.
That now your dumbass is coming in droves, not wearing a mask, spreading COVID in this space. It's an island. Girl, it's not that big. Okay?
No.
So it's and you're absolutely right, Eric. Is there is there's a spiritual kind of almost ghosty, it's very haunted in that kind of way. Yeah. And I think that, again, this is I think that this is part of gay culture. It's we've been oppressed, be it by ourselves, our family, society, all those things. Then we do get to celebrate. It's part of gay culture. We love to party. We're joyful people. We love our community, all of that. But then there's a time and a place. And what I think that gay people generally are good about is knowing the time and the place, being responsible in that sense. But this is just really tone deaf.
It is literally, when I saw that tweet from Cleve Jones, I was like, oh my God, the man who made the AIDS quilt, who had the AIDS quilt, is coming back to shame us. I was like, how embarrassing, how embarrassing. And it's not, and look, I don't want to compare AIDS and COVID because they are two different
things.
Yeah. Two different things. And also, as my friend, the producer of my show and dear friend, Jamie Dumont, he brought it up to me and he made a really great point about this. He said, once we in the gay community learned what AIDS was, everyone's put on condoms. Everybody took care of each other. Everyone started going by the rules. It was the fact that for years, people didn't know what it was. They were fed misinformation. The president, kind of like now, didn't care, but again, it was only a small portion of society, and most Americans were ignoring their death or saying their death was caused by blah, 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 crap religious thing here.
Yeah.
So it's just, there's just a responsibility, and we have to look, minorities. I'm Latino. I'm gay. I get this. Yeah. When you're a minority, if you're gay, you're Latino, you're Black, whatever, society is waiting for you to screw up. I'm sorry, it's true. And the moment you screw up, it's not some gays, it's not a gay, it's the gays.
Yep.
Every news station carried that story about what happened in Fire Island. Lester Holt on NBC Nightly News had footage of the Pines. How mortifying, because it was the gays, not some, not
All. And especially when, when you have like Tommy Lauren tweeting about like, well, I hope when Pride is canceled that you guys don't have a fit. And we were like, Pride's literally been canceled. Like, you didn't hear anything because we get it. We're fine. Yeah. But then it's one bad group. It's a bad apple.
And the problem is one bad apple. I mean, it's true. It's the whole idea. You have a bunch of apples, one bad apple. Guess what? That stuff spreads and it rots the whole group. And I get it. Look, I get it. That's why why I don't go out there. You go out there and you have that one drink, that two drink, inhibitions fall. I am only human too. I know.
Yeah.
I get it. And and I don't. Well, it's hard to say I don't blame them because I do blame them. But like shit happens, and they make bad moves, and I just think you're in a community, like you said, there are homeowners there. Most of the homeowners are people of a certain age, and people that are more that we have to worry more about them dying from this. And I am not about to kill the generation that survived AIDS and gave us the rights because I can't have a kiki on the beach. I'm just going to say like peace this year, be okay, and just not be a part of that. And to those who go out there, great, go out there, be safe. So many of my friends are 99% are amazingly safe, but it's that 1% of idiots. It takes one person on an island that skinny to start a massive infestation of COVID.
Exactly. And that's the most frustrating part is that like you can go out to the Pines and have a wonderful, lovely time and not be irresponsible. You can be in a house with a couple people, you can go to the beach, be by yourself. Like why do we need to congregate and then to like selfie like
exactly the pictures
like, oh my god, it's a picture. It's the pictures. I go, you have some cojones like to literally post a photo of you at a house party with people everywhere in the pool. Are you insane?
Don't post it.
I'm like, do you like your job?
Are you exactly like with the things going on in the world? Like, why would you even take the chance? I feel like so many people are, we're being more aware and kind of like, I think there's a big chunk of people that's coming into a new like awareness and sensitivity in social media, in creating and all that kind of thing. And so it was so shocking that like all this happened in this kind of like era of like consciousness that I was like, the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. My favorite were the ones that there was a few people that I saw actively being like, oh, I get it. We can only go Black Lives Matter. Now we go out and we protest and we blah, 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 blah. Like, talking about something they don't know. Meanwhile, studies now and tests have proven that there was no spike in coronavirus because, and I say this from someone that went to like 14 of them, everyone had masks. If you didn't have a mask, you were given a mask there. Everyone had masks. They were walking around with hand sanitizer, people running in between the crowds, thousands, all that stuff. And I was like, and first of all, for you to say that, and then I see you on Fire Island protesting nothing, only supporting yourself.
Yeah.
And out there with a mask off in a group, go fuck yourself. Can I say that on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
When I went to a protest in Ohio, I actually felt safer at the protest because everyone was keeping their distance. Everyone had masks. I felt more safer at that than at the grocery store because no one, like people don't wear masks in the Midwest as much. Yeah. So I was just like, I feel safer with these people who are thinking on a larger scale of safety.
Yeah, because if you're at a protest supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, then guess what? You're listening to the CDC and you're going to wear a mask because you are like aware of what's happening in the world.
You're listening to what's being told to you. I saw, speaking of memes, I saw a new meme recently that said, it was like just simple as like, there are 2 pandemics currently going on. And it had the coronavirus, people death, and then it had a woman with her mask off screaming and basically saying the pandemic of stupidity and the pandemic of coronavirus. And it's true. We have a pandemic of stupidity. and luckily it's the minority of the country, because I think that people forget, listen, the news, they gotta make news, and they gotta keep sponsors happy and people watching. Money. So 80-something% of Americans wear masks and approve of masks, but why we focus on the ones that don't and make it 24-hour coverage, I will never understand. I think all you do is perpetuate people's idiocy by doing that. But there is 20% still, and 20% is enough to get people sick. It's enough to make my home state of Florida a complete shit show right now.
Woof.
Yeah, I know.
Florida.
My state's always woof. Why is it always woof? It's
true.
true.
No, it has the potential to do
I
some
know,
great things.
We once had the potential. My God. And let's be honest. I want to say this as a Floridian. Orlando North, I'm going to get hate mail for this, but Orlando North is very woof. That's where you hear the stories about like
Florida Man.
Yeah, and like Amber Alerts. Like I think we actually created the Amber Alert. I think we were which is really oranges and Amber Alerts are products. But Orlando South, we are diverse and we are trying to do things right, and we do go blue a lot. But man, that Orlando North, woo, it's something different.
Yeah, it's. I love. Speaking of you talking about being from Florida and different things that Florida has had influence on in politics and the world as we know it, I want to get into your podcast where you actually kind of talk about being from Florida and kind of learning the power of your vote and how that was part of your coming of age as someone who is politics aware and an activist. So do you want to talk about that and what inspired you to start the podcast?
Well, I mean, what inspired me to start the podcast was I have an issue with what I call slacktivism, and it's actually now in Urban Dictionary. It's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
I did not. It's not me. I just heard from somebody else. But it's a real amazing term, slacktivism, where you just do these performative posting things. Good example, the black square. The black square is slacktivism. If you just posted a black square and you're like, did it, Black Lives Matter. Yeah. You are not an activist, you are a slacktivist. Yeah. Activism is when you can do performative actions like a black square, painting Black Lives Matter on the road outside of Trump Tower. All that stuff is great. Awesome stuff. Great. Awesome visuals. You have to back with action. So social media posts, for the most part, look, I'm not perfect about it. I'm human. But for the most part, when I post something on social media that bothers me, I will always usually follow it up with a phone call. If it's something I can call about, if it is an elected official, I will call it up with usually leave your voicemail. Beep. Hi, you're a dick. Just want to let you know that there will be a phone call about what I feel to the elected representative that has taken away rights or whatever they've done wrong. But there's also a sense of in our industry, we are so full of impassioned people that are so passionate about what we do. And but with that, I watch a lot of people that stand idle when it comes to politics, and they do just performative things. They just post a meme or a thing, or they repost the same article. Everyone's reposted, so I have to see so-and-so and 20 other friends shared this article. I'm like, oh, great. Right. What is that doing? You're just creating, you're creating noise. It's not good noise. So with my complaints on that, I can complain about that all I want, or I can do something about that and say, well, listen, maybe it's a matter of the fact that our community doesn't feel empowered and doesn't know where to go exactly because there's so much stuff out there. And so my thought is, can I create something that will give 15, 20 minutes to a topic every week, voter registration, fundraising, and we'll get to it more later, but episode 2, protesting, things like that, and then tag onto it a very, big names in our industry, big names that you know and you love and you look up to that also are activists. So you can have it both and without sacrificing your career and all that stuff. Yeah. People get so scared of that. And I go, no. The people that really matter are the ones that are going to listen to you and stand up with you when you're talking about injustices. It's not. The people that don't matter, fuck them. It's not, that's not important. You have one life on this earth, one voice to get across. So I remember I woke up that morning when the idea hit me, like in a dream, and I called Jamie Dumont, who is the creator and the host of The Fabulous Invalid. And Jamie's one of my like best friends. I have known Jamie and his husband Rick forever. I think well over maybe almost 12 years now. And Jamie's just one of my favorite humans ever. So I said, like, hey, I have an idea. What do you think of this? And I had the giant title already there. I had the Goater, who is Sylvia, the podcast.
Love that podcast.
Yeah. But I called him and I said, what do you think of this? And he right away jumped right into it and said, let's do it. We'll figure it out at BPN. I will produce, as far as Fabulous Invalid LLC, and we'll figure it all out. And so, we talked about it all early summer, getting it all together, getting it ready, and then dropped right at the moment where, just because of schedule wise, every week is too much. And I knew it was going to be about 10 weeks. I mean, it's I dropped my first episode last week, and here I am like making one this week, and I go, wait, aren't we done yet? It's fast, and I have a 2-week. Oh my God, you guys do every week?
Well, anyone who listens to us knows that we don't have a schedule, so we drop them when we got them.
We try and build them up and then release them. Like
that was put up by hurricane.
Yeah, we're not those girls. We're not like planning girls. We're more like
it's hard, and so
it's hard.
With this, because we have an election coming up and it is on a schedule, we have it planned out so that it literally leads up every other week up until the election.
That's great.
Yeah. So
unless something big happens, I mean, you'll still do it, but like, like life events happen. You're like, crap, how am I going to do this week? But you'll like,
I will pack that microphone and I'll put it in a duffel and we'll run.
You'll be like protesting and just
literally like, hey, we're coming to you live from, yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
The world is ending, but the podcast is going on. Yeah. So we had, so Jamie jumped right on board, and then, and we started, and we started to figure out what it was going to be. And right away, we knew the first one was going to be just an introduction about why activism. And with that, I made a confession that I've never, my parents know this, my family knows this, but I've never said aloud, and it's horrifying, but it's the truth. In the 2000 election, when George W. Bush was running against Al Gore, I turned 18, and I was registered in Florida. But I also was in my freshman year, first semester of college, and I was more interested in getting cast in a show / keg parties, and I didn't vote. I didn't vote in the election. In Florida, in the state of hanging chads.
Yeah, if you all don't know what happened in the 2000 election in Florida,
read about it.
Well, let's just say some people didn't vote, and by a very small margin, George W. Bush became our president because the Supreme Court decided over all of us at a very small margin. So, that, as I say on the podcast, you live, you learn. And then the next one with Carrie, I got more involved, and I remember I watched all the debates and, the famous Howard Dean scream. Isn't that Howard Dean scream seems so like charming now? The fact that his whole campaign ended on a scream.
I mean, I think back to that all the time when, George W. Bush is a war criminal and kind of a dunce. But I look back at him now and I'm like, remember how we thought we had the stupidest president ever?
I'll take stupid over evil.
Child.
I'll take stupid over evil any day. And so, yeah, so we put this together. So the first episode is, about my story about like being a really, shitty person when it comes to politics, being completely uninvolved, thinking that the world revolved only around me and my experiences, and then coming to and realizing that it is different. And I talk about my first episode that, Barack Obama was the and I think for a lot of people was the spark in a certain way that started the flame, because I saw a politician that spoke and felt and acted like I did. And I went, oh, this is somebody that reminds me of the ideals that I believe in and reminds me of why I care so much. And he used a word that I'm an optimist by life. I am an optimist. I am very much like the sun will come out tomorrow, look for the silver lining. Like that is all me. No matter what's happening. And his campaign just said hope. And I remember going, hope. Huh. 4 letters that are so simple, hope, but are so profound. In a time where we were in these unnecessary wars, a recession happened and everyone was losing their jobs. When I tell theater people, and I say in the first episode, we are always the first ones to go. People always forget that. They say, I just can't be political. I can't. It's just, what's the point? Well, your job's the point. Your job's the point. Because when these things happen, your job's the first thing to go. When a recession happens, right now, right this very minute with coronavirus and the shitty way that this administration is handling it, guess what people are canceling? Their theater subscriptions. They are canceling them everywhere. That's the first thing that goes because that's something they can't afford. Vacation homes, vacations, theater subscriptions. All these things are what goes first. And we forget that in 2007, so many theaters went out of business. So many theaters said goodbye after that, So it's directly, first of all, also, when these people are in power, and these people, I mean Republicans, they seem to forget the arts, and they seem to always be really cute about we're going to slash the arts budget, and they always threaten it, and then they get to the freaking hour, and someone ends up saving it. And I'm so tired of being on the chopping block. I'm so tired of what we do being on the chopping block. So you have to get involved. You have to care. It's your livelihood. Activism is not just, it's your livelihood. It's your livelihood. You have to be involved. Yeah. So all these reasons why I'm going on a tangent and litany here is because why you have to be involved. You have to be, so I wanted to create something where people could feel safe, come to and hear tips, and then be sent off by someone they know, they love, they trust, saying it's okay, and then sometimes going deeper into things,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so important right now, especially because I think a lot of people are being awakened into kind of a new passion for activism, or they're realizing that it's something that's not just for the select few, it's for everyone to do. And I think that a lot of people, when you're learning about something new and you're being, seeing things flying at you on social media, you're like, great, but I'm clueless and I need guidance. I think we look to those people who know already, whether it be, artists that we admire, or simply just go here, call this number, say this. Yeah. It's that simple. And I think it's really important, especially for theater people, because like you said, there's been this kind of myth that you don't want to be too political. You don't want to let people know where you stand because it might affect your job. And at this point, it's kind of I mean, look around a dressing room. Everyone's fucking bleeding heart liberal. It doesn't matter. Yeah. The money might not be, but
it's true.
Let's hope that all gets toppled in its own way too.
Yeah.
I think it's so interesting that activism sounds so bad, but it's really just being active in your government. Why can't we be active 365? It wouldn't seem so bad if we did it every day. And so I think we're overloaded on it now because it's just so much more than we're used to. But hopefully we'll stay at this height of being active, and it won't look overwhelming in the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And let me tag on to that, Caleb, real quick before Eric gets in. When we say we being overwhelmed, Caleb and I are talking about ourselves, people of privilege, that have not had to have been activists simply out of our privilege and a lack of awareness, a lack of knowing the severity of situations. So that's when we say we're talking about people like us.
Yeah. Yeah. But also, but here's the thing too, is that we have people forget, yes, you are, both white gay men, right? So here's the thing too, just 2 weeks ago, the Supreme Court decided this profound victory, which I was like, fuck that, I'm not celebrating this. This profound victory that we can't be fired at our jobs for being gay. Let's celebrate. Come on, really? In 2020, we're celebrating the fact that we can't
be fired for being gay.
For the fact that we go home to a person of the same sex that we love. We can't be fired for that. Really? So it applies to all of us. And yes, There is inherent privilege. There's inherent privilege in me. I am Latino, but I know how I look. I know when I walk into a store, no one follows me. I know when I get pulled over by a cop, that cop does not give me shit. I know my privilege on those things, but we all have our own versions of what we have to face in this world. And the fact that even as, gay men of all walks of life, the fact that 3 weeks ago, we had to celebrate the fact that we have the right to work and not get fired for being gay or trans, like that is bullshit. Is the world we live in. You said it so beautifully, Caleb. It's really true. Like activist that's the root. I mean, the root word is active. Just stay active in the world around you. Just don't like. I remember. I won't say their name because that's a really shitty thing to do. But I was on a few dates with this guy who it was very much like I can hear the bells, like very like I was like this is the one. And then they revealed to me that not only the way their family leaned, which is fine, I can deal with that. We all have our families, but then the fact that they said like politics it doesn't really affect me, and like they're all the same. And literally like I heard like the funeral march. It went from I can hear the bells to like in our industry it was just so lackadaisical about the world around them. And I was like, what is that kind of privilege like? Like, what is that? I have a lot of friends that are I'm a single gay man, and I have a lot of friends that are married and have had the fortune of getting married because of the very rights. Some of them, and I don't listen, not everyone's a fighter. Not everyone's a marcher in the streets, but a lot of them have the right because of the fact that people like me like that hit the streets in New York, and we marched and we made a lot of freaking noise. And I sat there with my friend Rory and Gavin and Jenny and all of them, and I sat there and wrote letters, and it became a larger thing here, and we made movements on marriage equality, but we all have a part to play in this, and when you step outside of it and think it doesn't affect you, it just kind of shows honestly who you are.
Yeah. Well, I think that people should. I loved listening to your podcast. I'm a big fan of Javier Munoz and the things he does for the community. He's really inspiring and talented, and such a sweetheart. Like I like giggle listening to him. Just like I have a little crush.
Are you kidding? Totally. When he was like, we were neighbors during On Your Feet and Hamilton, so I got to know him pretty well. Shut up! You're wearing it. Look, I knew I saw a fist. What's that fist?
Mama.
God. So no, he's just amazing, and he was the moment I knew I was going to do the show. He was the obvious first guest. We have Tuesday morning. Our new we're going to start dropping on Tuesdays because that's the date of elections.
Perfect.
Exactly. So Tuesday morning, we have a really really cool episode that I'm really excited about. I won't say the guests because I want to keep that a secret because it's an amazing panel, but we talk about protesting your rights and everything, and I take you through a kind of like a how-to guide on that, and then we tear into the Dear White American Theater letter, and we panel of people who signed that letter and talking about how we as an industry can fight systemic racism in our industry. And so it's a conversation like from the get-go when we were doing this, I was like, we are having this talk.
Absolutely. And if you should absolutely listen to all these episodes, but definitely listen to the one that's going to come out on Tuesday. And before you listen to it, check out, I don't know their Instagram handle, but I think it's WCUWAT or something like that.
I think so,
it's the Dear White American Theater, and they've released their list of demands. And it is a really interesting and I think necessary read for everyone to know what our industry needs to do in order to regain the trust of Black people and people of color.
Yes.
We kind of went out of order, but we always ask our guests just at the beginning of each thing. We're going to ask you at the end of the interview. But what first got young Eric interested in the arts?
I'm gonna walk with you because I'm grabbing my charger because my phone just I think this told me I had 6%.
Oh no!
It's fully charged for you guys. I don't know
Oh my
what
god!
It's a
okay.
movie podcast. I've already moved. You're moving. It's fine.
Yeah,
We're all
we love a scene change.
I know. I saw your Blair Witch walk earlier, Caleb.
Oh yeah, it's spooky. We're cutting there's a dead tree in the back that's getting cut. And I didn't know when it was happening.
The Blair Bitch Project.
The Blair Witch. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I've seen that one.
I think we all have.
I think we all have.
It was filmed in Fire Island.
Exactly. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 seconds.
No, it's great. This cocktail, you guys, this is empty. I'm gonna go ahead and drink all of this.
She's poured it.
Okay, also, this is a segue, but well, it's not a segue. It's just a completely different topic. I made macarons today, and they're s'mores flavored.
It's very it's very cute. It's like stuffed.
You made those?
Yeah.
Elliot, I'm coming by your place.
Please. So I made these, and thanks to Spencer Lawson, who helped me get the feet, and they're delicious. So I'm gonna have this a little bit later.
Are they really hard to make? Because I made Pavlov years ago, and I found it to be the hardest thing ever because I burned 17 batches of it before I got it right. Are they hard?
They are really, really hard. You can't overmix them. That's the problem I've had before. I've only made them once before, and so for my second batch, I'm very happy with how these came out. But you can't over whip them or else they'll like collapse.
Okay.
But these are very sturdy and they have the feet, like the little like at the bottom. And the ones I did before didn't have those. So it's slow victories. Yeah, I'm very happy with them.
Amazing. This looks so good and I want to eat all of them right now. Wait, what was the question you asked me before I had to do a scene change?
What first got you interested in the arts as a young person?
Okay, so little Eric wanted to be an animator / president, according to his 5th grade. I looked at my little thing, like when I grow up, little book when I was a kid that had like my school picture every year, and then I would write something. And in 5th grade, I wanted to be an animator / president.
I'd love to see it.
Exactly, you know. So I wanted to be I grew up drawing. I drew, I painted also. That was my wheelhouse. And I wanted to work for the Walt Disney Company and be an animator. And then when I was around 13, 14, I took a course in animation and classes in it. And I soon realized that I would rather do anything on earth than be an animator. Because back in the day, like, you know, you don't start off like, you're not creating Ursula. What you're doing is getting Ursula and you're drawing this one and then you're flipping the page and she moves but a 1/4 inch. And, and I was like, no. And that's how you start off and you're there for years like that. And I know myself, like, it's not going to work out. So I let go of dreams of Ursula and animation. And then I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was, and I say the true story because the true story is important. I was skipping class. Here, I know.
Bad boy.
I was skipping class, and I was 15 or 16, and I didn't want to get caught, so I snuck in the back of the theater because I was like, no one's going to find me back here. And I like sat in the back chair, and they were going through their dress rehearsal of Little Abner.
Yes, Little Abner.
Jubilation Tea Corn Cone. So I saw their final dress, the second act of it, and I was so kind of blown away by people on stage playing characters and doing that. And this is the thing too that people don't understand, like, about cultural representation. Cuban Eric from Miami and Fort Lauderdale at the time did not know theater because theater was not something that was pushed out towards Latinos in a certain way or towards our community in a certain way. The stories were not being told back, you know, in the 90s of that. So I did not have a place to find any of that. So I had never heard of theater. I didn't know what the hell a musical was. All I know is that I was watching people sing about an old Confederate general in a cartoon town. And this song, and I go, what is this? And so I came back that night on my own accord and bought a ticket. And I watched the whole show. And I knew one of the kids in the show was this guy, Chris, from my chemistry class. And so the next day in chemistry, I talked to him about the show. I said, I saw you in Little Abner. And he got me, we started talking about theater and listening to things. And we used to write alternate lyrics to Titanic the musical in chemistry class.
That is peak high.
We were both heterosexual then, and we had girlfriends.
Oh,
yes, Chris.
To Titanic the musical. And then the next year, that summer, I auditioned for a community theater production of Gypsy at this really famous community theater in Fort Lauderdale. And just my parents had no idea what the hell was going on, and they just dropped me off there. And then I got it, and little Eric was a farm boy, and I was, just doing Broadway, and they came and they saw it, and I'll give my parents credit. They from the beginning, my mom told me that early on she used to get really nervous when she watched me, thinking I would just really screw up on stage. But once the first couple of shows happened, and she realized that I knew what I was doing and she could feel safe, she was able to sit back and just enjoy her son playing a character. And now it's a very different thing, obviously. But don't skip class. Don't skip school, kids. But if you're going to skip class,
please.
Don't out in the theater.
Yeah. Someone would gasp if I said I were in class. I mean, that is how much I skipped class in school. Especially, honestly, I skipped the most class in middle school.
Oh, really?
How?
Yeah, because
how could you skip middle school?
I'll tell you, because the gifted and talented program we had our own room. Mrs. Caswell, our drama, who was the head of all of it, drama, music, everything. She had her own office, and I would always have a project in there. So I would just get a note from Mrs. Caswell that I was going to be in her room for the day, and I would spend the entire day in there sometimes, crafting and working on stuff and just talking, and I don't know. It was very formative in my life. But even in high school, I would leave biology class to go to work on the set for our drama class presentation or whatever.
100%. My senior year, I'm 38 years old, 38 and a half years old, and I still have deep nightmares where I will jump out of bed and I'm like, I'm feeling algebra 2.
Me too.
Yes, because I had algebra 2. We were doing Guys and Dolls. It was my senior year, and I would skip class to go help build the set and to paint Runyon Land. And so the teacher would be like, don't you have class? And I was like, no, it's study period, and just make up some bullshit, and just show up and paint the set. And so a week before the end of the semester, it's the end of the semester, and the spring musical happens, and then you're gone. I got she pulled me aside after class and went, hey, just so you know, you have a 46% in this class. And I was like, he goes, you're not only failing, you're failing. And I was like, oh my God. So I bought her and her girlfriend.
Progressive.
Family.
I know Community when I see it.
Family. Yeah.
I wasn't out yet, but I knew she was. I got them a pair of tickets to go see me as Nathan Detroit in Guys and Dolls. And
what a gift.
The last week at school, she gave little cards out with a pencil, you can do it. Dreams are for you.
Yeah.
Very what was that Chinese trading company? It was
I think it was Oriental Trading Company.
Oriental Trading.
Yes.
Can't do that work anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're gonna call
magazine.
We're gonna call it Trading Company.
Yes. Yeah.
Trading.
Trading.
I want a bite. So my boyfriend is eating the macaron right now, and I haven't had a bite of it.
Well, I can't.
He deserves it.
Goodness.
Trading. I would flip through that.
So she opens. Wait, so the card opens up, and I open the card, and the card from her said, we really enjoyed the show Saturday night. We know where your talents really lie. I would never hold you back. You'll graduate with a D.
Aww.
We'll take the D.
I'll take the D. I'll take the D and well.
And pass.
Yeah. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, I love that. But also, don't fail. Don't fail classes.
Don't fail. Don't do that. But like,
go enough. I remember it was senior year. I was so over it and just like ready to go like be in college for musical theater and just like focus on Broadway. But like I remember being like, I would wake up and my mother would be like, I would be like, not even lying anymore. Not I have a fever. I am sick. I would be like, I have an Algebra 2 test today and I can't take it. I said, I'm not prepared.
Algebra 2 is the worst.
And she'd be like, fine, go in late.
But you had to take it at some point. Like, that's the thing. Like,
I took it.
Caleb, were you a good student?
I was. Like, you guys were talking about Algebra 2 your senior year. I think I did that, like, my sophomore year. I was in, like, Trig and Pre-Calc, y'all.
Don't you brag. Don't you brag. I was in, like, advanced calculus my senior year. Exactly.
But
I was doing, like...
I use it so much in my daily life. Like...
Well, you were in the Pythagorean theorem. I was on...
By the way, guys, this is
Pythagorean theorem.
Don't know what it... No. Nope.
Exactly. Isn't that like y equals x
plus AB
squared or something?
Correct. It has, yeah. Like, exactly. When has it ever, like, come in? But I've never been like, yo, I have to balance my checkbook. I'll use the Pythagorean theorem.
Please. I wish I knew about, like, investing.
Well, yeah. Same. So, Elliot, can we talk about the fact of when you went to college and went to go live your college dreams and your Broadway dreams, and that's when we met?
That is when we met. We met at the Lyric Theater of Oklahoma.
Oh my god.
We did Bye Bye Birdie, and I got to like punch Eric in the face.
He did. We're talking to
Conrad.
Hugo Peabody right here.
Hugo, who in the reviews I was hailed as miscast.
Well, that's just bullshit. Those cruel Oklahoma City newspapers.
Yeah, the epicenter of theatrical criticism, Oklahoma City.
Always.
Wasn't it like the Tulsa Sun though? It was like not even like Oklahoma or the Edmond Sun.
It was multiple. It was a couple that said it. That all used miscast as the adjective. So
that alliteration.
Listen, there was.
Look, it's a gift. Also, I'll take it because if you thought I was miscast, then bitch, I got the job for a reason, honey.
Honey, have you called them back and showed them your resume now?
Mama.
Have you come back and been, oh, hey, have you seen my multiple Broadway credits?
But it's not that long. No, but what I do remember from that night, we're going a little long, but I'm having so much fun. As long as we're okay, we'll go as long as we can. I remember the night where I think Meredith, who was playing Kim, called me Conrad.
Yes.
In like the scene where I'm supposed to punch you. And I remember being like, I'm Hugo. Like, I was so
she was like, Conrad Birdie, I'll never speak to you again. And I was like, what?
I was like, what? Like, it was so funny, but I remember that was so fun. And what a great set.
Oh my God. Well, because of that.
Adam Koch.
Right when he was, so I was, when we were doing Passing Through last summer.
Another musical you wrote.
Yes. Mm-hmm. At Goodspeed last summer, when Igor Golden was directing it, we talked about designers. And, Igor's always like just incredibly collaborative about everything. That's why I always go to him. And because he just so I brought people to the table and said, take a meeting, whatever. And he and Adam Koch took a meeting and they hit it off right away. And Adam Koch made this freaking like amazing, gorgeous set. But Adam made this amazing set. Like, remember that Penn Station? Oh, it was what dreams look like. The telephone hour.
The telephone hour was I think I have it was like 10 dog houses.
I wonder if I have a photo of this and I can actually get it on this thing. Hold on.
It was so good. While you look for the photo, we're going to move to our first segment. We're going to do like rapid fire segments, Caleb, if that's cool.
Yes.
So we're going to move to our first segment, which is Caleb's segment, Blonde Girl Moment.
Maybe I'd better go. Oh, ain't I home? Maybe
So Blonde Girls from Ohio is an opinion piece on mine. Usually I like to do the other opinions so it gets everyone in a little tizzy. So controversial. So we're going to a lot of summer's a little bit different. We have cookouts, but they're social distancing, or we're kind of having a different kind of cookout this year. But we're going to talk about side dishes. The best side dish is a cold Jell-O, because all of the other foods are hot. You have your hot dog, you have like all those hot sides, and they're not refreshing during a grill. So controversially, I'm going to say the best side dish is a Jell-O.
You're
Midwest
insane. Jell-O?
I was going to say baked beans, but you get baked beans 365. I don't get Jell-O 365.
Have you ever been to a barbecue?
I've been to a lot of barbecues.
Caleb, there are so many cold sides at barbecues.
Potato
salad.
Salad is also can be hot sometimes, and you can really fail at potato salad. Yeah.
In hell?
No, potato salad, macaroni salad. One of my favorite side dishes, indoors or outdoors. I love macaroni salad.
Ambrosia salad.
But those are 365. Like, you don't get Jell-O 365. Name when was the last time you had Jell-O?
For a reason, Caleb, not recently.
When I think I had coronavirus.
Sure.
Because it was all you could take.
But like, imagine red, white, and blue Jell-O with some whipped cream and maybe some blueberries on it.
First of all, not Jell-O with whipped cream, not this.
Oh, see, actually, I would be down with that. The whipped cream sold me.
Right. So, in a nutshell, you can't argue with me. Baked beans are the second side. The first side is Jell-O. That's my topic for today.
Well,
we'll discuss this more on Instagram. I will post, and you can troll me as much as you want.
Please troll Caleb, because that is ridiculous to say that Jell-O is the number one side dish at a barbecue.
Well, deal with it.
Opinion or a fact?
What about coleslaw? It's Caleb's opinion.
It is my opinion. It's my segment.
Well, I'll tell you what. No, I trust in your segment. Coleslaw is a weird thing, though. Let's be honest.
It's got to be right.
Because when coleslaw is like just very sweet and mayonnaise-y, I want to throw myself out of my building, like face first.
It can't be too mayonnaise-y. I need a vinegar-based. Vinegar-based
Love
coleslaw.
language, Elliot.
I need a vinegar-based coleslaw, and I need there to be apples or celery, some kind of like light crunch.
Yes, something with a crunch in it.
Okay.
Well, you can always put pecans in some Jell-O, so you get some crunch in the Jell-O too.
Ew. Pecans in Jell-O?
Hey, well, no, I was on your side.
You've had it and you've liked it. Don't
No!
lie.
Pecans in Jell-O? Caleb, you are not even having this delicious entire Q-Cox right now. You're drinking beer.
Literally.
You are not this drunk, Caleb.
You know what? I'm going to ask Q-Cox to make a Jell-O cocktail just for me, and everyone's going to love it.
A pecan cocktail?
A Jell-O cocktail. Yeah. Exactly.
No one will order it. Anyway.
Onward
to Merch Madness. If you don't know, I collect musical theater merchandise, and I do a segment where I pin two pieces of merchandise together and choose a winner in a versus format. However, in Corona times, girl, we all need a mask. So this is another edition of Mask Madness. These are made by my uncles in Fort Lauderdale, actually. They have a company there. This is Mask 1.
I love
gorgeous.
So this is a new style. This is very like tie-dye psychedelic. What I really like is the lining is like an opposite lining. It's like a teal lining. It's really cute. And what I like about this is a new shape. Oh, what a cute little cow.
I love the cow one.
This is a it's more of a traditional mask shape. The other masks that I've shown on the show have been more like Eric's shape, which is like the nose up.
Wait, can you put yours on again?
Yeah.
I want to see it. Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
So it's really cute. It goes all the way. Yeah. The only thing is it goes up really high. Like I can almost feel it in my eyeballs. But I have a short face, so I usually just do it like this. Or what's nice for the extra length is when I'm wearing my glasses is I just like clamp this down with my glasses and go from there. Also, for anyone I see walking around talking on their phone with their mask down, I just did a podcast with my mask on and it was totally fine. So you should just keep your mask on. Your Aunt Shelly can hear you. Okay. It's not that
What?
And if she can't, it's her problem. She needs a hearing aid.
No, Caleb, that is not the right way.
No, that's wrong.
This makes me insane. People do this.
You did a whole post. Check out everyone. Check out Eric's Instagram. He just did a whole great collage.
It was just thirsty, Elliot. Let's be honest.
What?
It was just thirsty. Let's be honest.
Please, it was still great.
I was trying to help the world.
I'm not. No one's mad. Ask anyone. No one's mad. Okay, that's the first contestant. Second,
Liza's masks.
Gorgeous.
Look at that.
Wait, from the same uncles?
Same uncles. I'll send you the website.
Yes.
This is a navy sequins.
Oh my God, I need that.
Now, I do have to say, okay, the masks have all been really high quality. However, I'm the nephew, right? So they're going to send me maybe the ones that have like a short loophole and then like a long. You know what I mean? So like for me, they're relative. The fit isn't perfect, but generally the fit on these masks is just, and the fashion. I mean, this is a navy sequin. They have sequin in all different colors. Let me actually give Britt this right now.
I've been thinking about the fact that we need formal wear masks.
Yes.
I went to a formal wear mask. I don't know what is.
This is a little bit of a downer, but I went to a funeral recently and I was like, I need a funeral mask. And luckily I had one. I have a mask drawer now in my accessories, but this is my funeral mask. This is a former winner of Merch Madness, but see.
Do you hold it only for your mask it up with
That's the website. Mask it up with OTT.
Yes. Wait, so do you wear your funeral mask only to funerals, or will you bring?
No, but it's like an evening mask.
Yeah.
And what I realized is I was wearing like a suit coat. Bitch, you fold this under, you fold this. That's a pocket square. Okay.
Shut up. Hold
Pull
on.
it out and put it in.
Wait, can I do? I call this mask Caroline because obviously I'm gay and gypsy. But like happy Caroline pocket square.
Lovely.
Oh my God, just the cow. Okay, hold on 1 second.
I don't have a pocket.
Hey Britt, will you take me out?
I love I live on a dairy farm in Ohio, so I love the cow mask. So I really.
Caleb, we're finally alone. Thank God.
What?
I said finally we're alone, Caleb. Thank God.
I know. He was just taking up the whole time. Yes.
Yeah. Wait. So
Who
wait.
made
You
that
like,
mask? Who made your mask?
I got it from my mom's friends in Texas near Fort Worth. My parents lived out there for a while, and they had a. This is coming off in like 30 seconds. I'm already overheating. I'm being such a Karen right now. I'm like, I'm overheating.
I can't breathe.
I can't breathe. I can't. I have a medical condition. But I no. They have a company where they make them. And the patterns were like, I think this is early Corona, and the patterns were very much like not my style. And they had one that I loved that was like a paisley, like a bandana print. But then like I didn't realize that in between the paisley was little boots, and it said "Deep in the Heart of Texas," and I was like, no. So I got this, and I have one that's a giraffe print, which I call Gay Bane, because it looks like Bane from Batman, the movie. Yeah. But it's it's his gay twin.
Yes. Well, check out Mask It Up with OTT. They will.
Oh my God! I have to go buy that. I'm buying that. I'm literally buying that one.
All right, Caleb. Close this up with the game.
Yes. So these are just quick games. Give me a quick answer. Your first New York survival job.
Me?
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh God. What did I do? Restaurant server.
Where at?
Oh God, where the fuck did I work? Raspberry 360.
Great. Must try Cuban food.
Say again?
Must try Cuban food.
Oh my God. Picadillo.
Ooh. Favorite Gloria.
One more time.
Favorite Gloria.
Oh God. Anything for you when you're not here. Yeah.
Great. Turn down your sound just a little bit. I think we're
getting a little echo.
Of me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me also. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Florida gets. We talked about this. Florida gets a bad rap sometimes. But what is one must-see thing in Florida?
I can't hear you guys anymore.
Must see in Florida. Must do. Uh-oh.
One more time. Okay, now I'm back.
Must see in Florida.
Must see in Florida. God. I grew up in Miami, so like the Cuban culture down in like Hialeah, South Beach, all that stuff. Go eat food, go dance, go on the beach.
Yes. So what was a fad from like your childhood that you loved? Like Tamagotchi was for me. I was obsessed with Tamagotchi.
Hypercolor shirts.
What?
Do you know this?
No.
Hypercolor shirts. Wait, they were shirts that literally your temperature of your hand would change the color of your shirt. I don't know why I love them. They always broke though. The moment you washed them, they were over.
Oh, sure. Lastly, this is the last question. It's I can't believe this is my job moment you've ever had.
Seeing my first play, seeing 26 Pebbles premiere. I can't. I had been through a Broadway debut, and I thought it couldn't get better than that. But seeing something I created come to life on stage and people applauding and people bowing to these words, I just still I get very moved by that.
Yeah, love that.
And it's the perfect tie-in to what you're doing now on the Broadway Podcast Network, is making something, creating something, using your art to amplify your voice. So we are so thankful that you came on the podcast with us, Eric.
I'm so thankful to be here.
This was way too much fun.
We're taking a nap right now.
For us coming back, we came back with a bang and a long episode, but it was so much fun and worth it. Eric, where can people find you on social media, and where can people find your podcast?
So you can find me on social media at on Instagram at the THEULLOA at the Ulloa THEULLOA, and then on Twitter, because they closed my last account because I made a joke about cats that apparently was a death threat. That's for podcast number 2. I joked with a friend, I'll murder you, about cats, and they said that I was doing a death threat to somebody, and they closed down my account.
We need to introduce you to Mike Abrams.
Yes.
Yeah, so the Cats movie. On Twitter, it's at the Ulloa, THEULLOA 2. And then the podcast is Do You Hear the People Sing? You could find it literally by that on iTunes and on Spotify. On Spotify, here you have to type in Do You Hear the People Sing podcast, and you'll find the podcast there. Episode 1's out. Episode 2 drops Tuesday morning.
And you'll also find it on the BPN app.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone, check out. This has happened since we've done episodes, but there is a Broadway Podcast Network app where you can get exclusive early releases for episodes. Episodes will start playing automatically after you're finished with them. There's Explore options, so it's really a great thing. Download that app. And while you're downloading that app, you can go on iTunes, your podcast app, and you can give Equity One a 5-star rating and a review. And while you're there, just search Do You Hear the People Sing, the theater person's guide to saving democracy, and you give Eric a 5-star review as well, okay? Yeah. You can find our podcast at Equity One Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and at Equity One _ on Twitter.
Send us an email at equityonepodcast@gmail.com. Sorry about that. Yeah. Elliot, where can we find you on social media?
We're out of practice. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. You can find me at Elliot Maddox.
You can find
on
me
everything.
at Caleb Dickey on everything.
And until next time, cheers!